Labour is going to support the government?
I think Labour's a wholly owned subsidiary of the government on this. That might be a good thing, unity, or it may be a bad thing that there is no real debate and critique of whatever the policy is.
You thought Keir Starmer might have been tempted to jump ahead of this?
I think he may down the line. He may yet. On jets. I really think that is possible, but not at the moment. As you could see there, David Lammy was doing everything he could to avoid saying yes or no on jets.
And I think it's about a case of overcorrection, right? There's no way. I mean, David Lammy tried his best there, but he's not going to convince anyone in this studio watching that Jeremy Corbyn is hand in glove with the Labour administration on this. And we all remember the 2017 Salisbury poisoning, where Corbyn's response was, why don't we send a sample of it to see whether the Russians recognise it from their labs, and I think he's really trying to do his best to distance himself from that. But clearly there's still, I mean, Corbyn is going to continue to advocate for a position that I think the Labour Party in general doesn't want to be seen to be caught in.
Talking about complex individuals, the new Deputy Chair of the Conservative Party, Mr Lee Anderson. First, I think it was slightly unfair because it was an interview a few days ago, but his first public interview, released by The Spectator yesterday, he's now in favour of bringing the death penalty back. Do you think Rishi Sunak chose him to be Deputy Chair of the Conservative Party in order to make the argument for the return of the death penalty?
No, and I'm a former advisor to the party chairman, so I know that deputy chairman role well. And it's really about campaigning. And Lee, he was a former Labour councillor, is now Conservative, understands those Labour-Tory switchers. By all accounts, I don't know Lee, but a very kind of passionate campaigner.
A few days before he was appointed as deputy chairman, Rishi Sunak must have been aware, wasn't he, of his views on the death penalty, and either thought that was something that was OK to have as your deputy chairman, or didn't know his views, which makes you wonder what else he doesn't know about him.
Well, I think he's not going to be setting Home Office policy, as far as I'm aware, or Ministry of Justice policy, indeed, about the death penalty. And I think it is a campaigning job and not a policy job. But, I mean, actually, it's interesting. The polling on death penalty has obviously declined quite a lot in recent times. But the majority do still seem to support the death penalty for, you know, most heinous crimes, serial killers, that kind of thing, terrorist attacks. So I don't think it's a sort of an opinion that most... I mean, I'm not sure I personally support it.
People are against it. People against it, a majority in principle. I think YouGov with the last poll I saw, November, I think it's half people against it, 4 in 10 would be supported. But you're quite right, certain offences it comes up. But look, 30p Lee is a loose cannon and a liability. And 2 days into the job, we will have Downing Street disowning him for the first time. And this will just recur.
How could that not be thought out before? Or does he just not mind? Or has he just got few options?
Well, I mean, I think...
The Prime Minister is the he.
Right, I see. I think that, you know, Lee's a Northern MP, a Red Wall MP, and someone who campaigns. And I think that actually that was an important signal to send to the party. It does seem like Lee does enjoy these sort of Twitter provocations, and we'll see how it plays out.
He'll be a gift that keeps giving, I think.
Cabinet ministers will be asked, do you support the death penalty? No. And they will then be opening up a rift with their party's deputy chair. That's the problem with... It'll happen time after time until he's sacked.
Kevin predicts. OK, we'll see.